Clemson has a bunch of transfer portal players visiting. Some's already visited. I'm going to dive into some of those names, and maybe you can even help me remember some that I've overlooked. But first, welcome to the channel. If you love Clemson football and maybe you're excited about some of these players, I'm excited about some of these players potentially coming in. But if you love Clemson football, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free, and pass it along to all your friends, all your buddies who love Clemson football as well. Also, shout out to Section 103 for sponsoring the show. This is some of their designs here. I have two of the polos. I'm wearing one of the hats right now. Everything designs, everything for kids, men, women. I already said kids. My thoughts are getting jumbled up. That's how good this stuff is. I love these designs that are based on Clemson traditions like Howard's Rock, Two Right Turns, Clemson House, and so on. So check out the link below this video, Section 103. Go over there, and I'm telling you, load up. You'll thank me. Again, thank you to Section 103 for sponsoring the show. All right, so I'm going to dive into some of the football players, the portal players who are going to be visiting Clemson today. And I'm just having to jump around here because I'm seeing some sites that are reporting, oh, these guys have visited, and then it's leaving out someone else. So I am quite sure I'm going to miss someone. I'm asking you to actually put those players' names in the comments section, whether you're in the live chat here or not. So I'm going to start out. With this particular article, and we'll dive right in. So over the weekend, Memphis defensive back Chris Bracey and Penn State defensive back Elliott Washington either visited or they're visiting today. And by the way, notice how a lot of these are defensive players. And I'm excited about that. I'll talk about that in a second. Old Dominion safety, Jerome Carter. This guy is an all-conference player. He had 75 tackles, 2.5 sacks for loss, 2 pass breakups. He had 6 interceptions. We need that. Here's a player that's visiting today, Matai Taguayi. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Forgive me, sir, if it's not. I went and looked up a video of Southern Cal playing. So if I butchered that, please forgive me. Matai Taguayi. He's a big-time linebacker out of USC. I watched a video where a USC YouTuber was talking about players that they were losing, and he said that one was a shock. And his words was that I mean, he hated it. That's how much this guy thinks of Matai. So I'm glad that he's coming to Clemson to visit. I'm hoping that we can potentially lock him down. You know, having someone like him side by side with Sammy Brown would be a big deal. We not only need guys playing on the field, we need depth. So I know that he wouldn't be coming to Clemson to sit on the bench. With that said, maybe even if it pushed someone out and put him in there, folks, it's a different time. We have to plan for this, you know. But with that said, a guy like this coming to Clemson, especially with a lot of the players that we're losing on the defensive side of the football, it would be incredible. I'm really excited about him visiting. I'm hoping that we can lock him down. He does have offers from Alabama, Georgia, Miami, and Michigan. If that tells you anything about him, he's a 6'4" former 4-star prospect coming out of California. So this guy he's highly sought after. That he would even visit Clemson's a big deal. So it'd be nice if we could lock him down. On the offensive side of the football, we have Georgia Southern offensive lineman Johnny Brown, who will be visiting as a redshirt junior. He's earned all Sun Belt honors. He's 6'3", 315 pounds. He would have 1 year of eligibility left. He's visited Louisville and West Virginia. West Georgia defensive tackle Courtney Kelly will also visit today. He had 10 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Mississippi State and Kentucky are interested in him as well. Now, I'm going to have to bounce around here, going to another site to check out who else is visiting. Now, I don't think he's visiting today, but Devin Tompkins, he's a defensive lineman out of Southern Cal. He's one of the most talented players in the portal. A lot of people like this guy. He has said that Clemson is in his top, I believe, top 4 or top 5. So that's a big deal. Hopefully we can get him on campus. Next week, former Kansas safety, I believe it's Lyric Rawls, is scheduled to visit us sometime next week. So he has experience at Oklahoma State and Kansas. He has a lot of experience just playing overall. So that's a big deal if we can potentially get him on campus as well. So he's not visiting today. Most of these are people who we're still targeting. So I kind of switch from who's visiting to who we're hoping to get on campus. Jason Jenkins, he's a defensive lineman out of Florida State, is planning a visit to Tigerville. So we're hoping to get him on the campus as well. So that's some of the names that I'm hearing at this point and that I'm seeing. I will tell you that a couple of days ago, or okay, let's go back to Friday. Friday, there was this, idea. There was this idea that Aiden Childs, the Michigan State quarterback, former Oregon State quarterback, was being targeted by the Tigers. And then someone was kind enough to email me and said, hey, listen, I can tell you from a really, really good source, we are not going after a quarterback. And the reason that I bring all of that up is that, well, as I said, it was all over Clemson media. It was all over Clemson media that we are, we're going after this guy, and Clemson's, in play for Aiden Childs. And so this person reached out to me and was very kind enough to share the information and say, listen, it's not happening. And then it came out, I believe yesterday, we're definitely not going after quarterback. Again, some of you are like, duh. It was not a duh on Friday, folks. Aiden Childs was everywhere. So anyway, it's good to at least get that clarity. Let's talk about some of these players, and let's talk about let me talk about what I'm excited about when it comes to some of these players. We all know the approach of Clemson football with the transfer portal. A lot of it comes down to, we didn't need the players. We had the roster. And now we're at the place, put all the talking points aside, right or wrong or somewhere in the middle, that now we're looking at a team who's lost a lot of players, either because they're going to the NFL, they've ran out of eligibility, they've hit the transfer portal, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reasons. And so now, especially on the defensive side of the football, we're having to go to the portal. Now, we know that there's been a development problem at Clemson on multiple sides of the football. You know it, I know it, we all know it. But here's the thing that I look at, folks. I look at bringing in players who has already played at other programs. Some of these guys have been in college for, 3 years, 4 years. This gives us the opportunity to take advantage of some guys who they've been developed. They did very well. Maybe they were on a team that was not that great, but they themselves were pretty doggone good. This gives us the ability to take advantage of some of that development while we're still working out our issues in Clemson. And at the end of the day, these guys I believe a lot of them wants to compete for a national championship. I believe that a lot of them, they really want to win at a high level. But here's the other thing. I believe that a lot of these guys are interested in, and this is the uncomfortable part, the money. Well, Clemson lost a lot of star power. Peter Woods, Avion Terrell, K. Klubnik, T.J. Parker. Wade Wood is gone. And from what I understand, TJ Moore is still negotiating his contract. Some people said, I've heard that Wesco's already locked down. He's coming back next year. I know he's injured, but he's coming back next year. But TJ Parker, I believe, is still negotiating, but we feel like we're going to retain him. Why do I bring that up? Because with all those stars leaving, that opens up the purse. So you have to ask yourself, Can we afford to go out and get some of these players to make at least our defense more viable? Look at the Duke game. Had we had a better defensive performance in the Duke game, we would have won that game. Had Clemson had a better defensive performance in the Syracuse game, we would have won that ball game. If Clemson would have, and all of these are ifs, and I know that if didn't happen, but this is how you have to evaluate the potential impact of these players coming in. You have to evaluate if they come here and they provide that star power like Will Helt did. Look at how much Will Helt changed the dynamic of certain games. The South Carolina game, Will Helt was all over Lenore Sellers, he and TJ Parker. That was the best game Parker had all year, but Will Helt was a problem all year. Imagine pulling in players that can give you that playability for this coming season while you're still evaluating what needs to be done in Clemson. It can buy you time. Now, there's a lot of people who took shots at Tom Allen this year. I was kind of shocked that the defense did not do as well as we expected. But here's the facts. Tom Allen, in his history on the defensive side of the football, whether he was head coach or whether he's a defensive coordinator, the guy is fantastic. We saw what he did with Penn State in 2024. They got to the Final Four of the college football playoff. That defense was a menace. Okay? So here's my point with that. My point is that this guy has the ability to lead a defense at a high level if you give him the players who are hungry to play football. And I'm just going to say this. For some of you, you don't like how the portal has changed the game. I get it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for being irritated of how the portal has changed the flipping game. It has. And there's some bad things that have come along with it. There's also some good things that have come along with it. There are some really good things that have happened because of the transfer portal. Just like, let's go back to those bad things. There's some really bad things that's happened in college football because we're giving college football coaches massive buyouts to where they can get fat and sassy, so to speak. If they win, they win. If they lose, they win. So before we go off on some tangent about the transfer portal and how it's the worst thing that's ever happened, one of the worst things that ever happened to college football is college football coaches having 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 million buyouts. Sorry. It's not just the players. Two can play that game. So with that said, on a higher note, on a happy note, on a gracious note, let's step back and let's take a look. Let's take a look at what this could do for our defense. It can make our defense better. And while we figure out whatever's going to go on with the offense, whoever's going to be, I believe Christopher Vizina is going to be the starting quarterback. I would not be shocked if things did not go well and we went with someone else. I'm not talking about a portal player. I'm talking about someone who's already there. But hopefully our defense would be able to come in under the leadership of Tom Allen and if they bring in some solid transfer portal players, like this guy from Southern Cal that will be visiting. He's on the thumbnail. Matai Tagovailoa, I believe I'm saying that correct. Bringing guys like him in, bringing in the safety from Kansas, bringing in the best players we can get our hands on. It could keep us in games next year while we figure out what's going on with the offense. I mean, that's it, plain and simple. So let's just go with that. Let's just cross our fingers. You know me, I don't like crossing my fingers. You know me, if anyone's watching me for the very first time, you're like, wow, you sure are, giving a lot of giving a lot of leeway here to a coaching staff that just lost 6 ball games, and the majority of that staff is still there. I agree with you. If you watch my channel all the time, you're probably sitting there wondering if I'm sick or something, because I'm being so gracious and I'm extending such an optimistic approach. Maybe someone poured some Bailey's Irish cream in my coffee this morning. No, they didn't. Trust me, they didn't. But I mean, we're at this point, Clemson fans, to where coaching, I'm going to say this real quick. Coaching has been the problem. Coaching is still the problem. And I believe in pulling in the right coaches, and you will not have a development issue. But when you are still in that phase where there's a development issue, going to the transfer portal and getting the right guys can give you a chance to potentially right the ship, at least momentarily. I don't know. All right, folks, you let me know what you think about what I just said. Who did I miss? Did I miss some players? Did I overlook someone? I'm guarantee you that I did, but I do appreciate y'all being in here. There's a bunch of you in here right now. I see Alex Patterson in here. I see Wrestler Weekly in here, JW. Jeff W. says, I'm new to the channel. Hey, I hope you'll subscribe. Got Cross Faith Army. Got KD in here. I have a bunch of people in here right now. I really do appreciate you being in here. Utoski, we have like 5 people visiting. LOL. Yep. And that's 5 more than I ever expected. That's 5 more than I ever expected to be visiting Clemson right now. Rusty Breaks is in here. We got Benji in here. Hope you're doing well. Not too thrilled, but hey, he's talking about some other things right now, but it's good to see you, Benji. Folks, you take care of yourself. Subscribe if you haven't. Listen, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers. I've picked up like 250 subscribers like that and got me over 9,000. I'm putting the goal out there. Let's get to 10,000. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers, and my channel's still relatively young. So there's a lot of people who's watching me right now. If you have not subscribed, it's free. Just look and see. Hit the subscribe button. Someone yesterday told me, said, hey, listen, I thought I was subscribed to you, but I wasn't. So I just subscribed. So folks, make sure that you are subscribed. It is free. Also, a shout out to the sponsor of the show, Section 103. If you love these designs, if you love wearing Clemson gear that is quality, that has a lot of quality to it, you need to go over to Section 103. That link is below this video. Go over there, drop a line, and let them know that you heard about them from me. But the best thing to do is go buy something. Hey, this hat right here, I got it from them. It's unbelievable. I have another hat over there. It feels great, wears great. The polo I was wearing yesterday, everyone was like, man, that polo looks incredible. I got it at Section 103. So go check them out. Folks, you take care.